Welcome. Thank you for joining us today, and we're so glad to be here today introducing a great panel of educators located here in Northwest Tennessee. They're going to be able to answer a lot of questions for us and give us some information about the institutions that they work for if you want to start a nursing career. And we thank each of our panelists today for their participation and their time. We have today representing Dartmouth State Miss Amy Johnson, and we have Miss Carol Fahm also there. Located in Martin for the University of Tennessee Martin, we have Dr. Mary Radford and Mrs. Diane Austin. They're also bringing a special guest, which is a student today, Mr. Clay Hardy. We're eager to listen to him and see how his journey led him to where he is today as an RN. And last, we have Miss Erica Smith with the Tennessee College of Applied Technology at TCAT, several locations throughout Northwest Tennessee. And I'm excited to have all of them here today. First, let's begin by saying nursing is a chosen career for all of us here except Ms. Fahm, and I'm sure she's a nursing advocate. And there's varied levels of education for nurses. We're all represented here today. And we're eager to help students, the high school students, to learn about higher education, to learn the entry requirements and opportunities available at these institutions that are local in Northwest Tennessee. First, I'm going to begin with Dr. Radford. Mary Radford at University of Tennessee at Martin, which is a baccalaureate, a 4-year degree. And it's a stepping stone for further education. If you wanted to get to a higher education to do specialist, I'm Sherry Tidwell and I'm a nurse practitioner. I guess I should have said that at first with my master's. And there's also PhD programs. Your baccalaureate degree is that stepping stone. And of course, UT Martin has a wonderful, solid institution with a great nursing program. And we're going to hear Dr. Radford tell us a little bit about the program and entry level.
Okay, so the Baccalaureate of Nursing degree is an entry-level degree. And there's a couple of different options that we offer. One is the pre-licensure track, which is for traditional students coming out of high school or transferring from a community college where they maybe completed their prerequisites for our program. And then that's a 3 years of clinical experience. And I'll give Ms. Austin a minute to talk about that in just a moment. But another big asset of the BSN degree is that we prepare you for graduate school. So there's some additional coursework that you get in the BSN degree that you wouldn't get in another entry-level nursing degree. So things like population health, which is very relevant right now in the middle of a pandemic. We have a very strong 5-credit-hour health assessment and diagnostic studies course, which really helps with clinical judgment and differential diagnosing for advanced practice nurses. We also offer evidence-based practice, which is kind of the meat of everything that we do in nursing and why we do that. So those courses really do help prepare our students for graduate school and advanced practice. So if your plan is to go on and become a nurse practitioner, a nurse anesthetist, even a nurse educator, you'll have a good solid foundation for that. And I also want to mention that this program, we have an RN to BSN option. So if you decide to go for the associate degree program, maybe at Dyersburg State, which has an excellent program, you can complete your baccalaureate degree online after you've passed your licensure exam and you're practicing and working as a registered nurse. So that's another way to complete the BSN if you don't necessarily start with us. So we do have an excellent program, but we love to partner with excellent institutions like Dyersburg State as well, so that we get those really good RNs into our RN to BSN program. So Ms. Austin, I'll let her talk about our clinical experiences. She is one of our clinical instructors, so I'm going to pass this to her.
Yes.
Honored to be here with y'all. We have a unique and awesome experience over here at the University of Tennessee at Martin. In our traditional nursing program, we offer 3 years of clinical and campus lab. That's a total of about 840 lab hours altogether. There's great opportunities for hands-on experience and working with experienced nurses, such as with Clay, who you'll meet in a few moments. Exposure is offered to a variety of clinical sites. We're not nailed down to one clinical site. We go to 4 different rehab centers. There's at least 4 different hospital facilities that we go to, in addition to physician's office and community and mental health centers across West Tennessee. So it provides a diverse learning experiences, opportunities to network with healthcare professionals, and the ability to discover what opportunities are available in West Tennessee healthcare work environment. Another advantage of coming to one of those local schools, and particularly I think for UT Martin, is that smaller number of students in the class gives you that access to know your instructors and that opportunity for your nursing instructors to know you and to help you grow your abilities for success as a nurse. And we work really hard to help to support you in that effort, and always there for you.
Thank you. I know it's important, and I know nursing has a lot of books and there's a lot of reading, but always when I was adjunct faculty, they love that hands-on experience. They love getting out into the field. We all have stories of what made us where we are today on our journey in nursing, but students love that. And can I go ahead and shift to Clay, because we know he's at work. Thank you for your gift of time today, Clay. And thank you for working during this pandemic. And he is in Union City, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he's an RN. You graduated from UT Martin in what year?
In 08, ma'am.
08, great. And you want to tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are today?
All right. Hi, my name's Clay Hardy, 08 graduate from UTM. I am born, bred, and raised here in West Tennessee. Never had any plans on leaving. Started college at Martin. Really unsure of what I wanted to do, but I know that I wanted to stay in the area. And as we all know, this area is kind of limited on what jobs you can get if you want to make a decent living. So I chose to go the nursing route. Unfortunately, I did not get accepted the first year that I applied to the nursing program, but that worked out for me. I got in the next year. I did meet my wife, or soon to be wife.
Yay!
That's Lauren. We have been here at Baptist. We both graduated in 08. We've been here, it'll be 13 years in May. Just to speak a little bit on the UTM program, they have great instructors, doctors, professors. It is a hard program. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that. You do have to really work hard. You do you learn and make new friends, and they are your nursing friends. You do lose touch with some of the folks that you were initially close with, but you make great new relationships. What else do you really want to know about the program there?
Did you like the clinical sites that you went to? You want to talk about the variety of clinical sites?
Okay, sure. First, you start off in the nursing homes doing what I call basically learning aid work, learning how to care for the patients, and then you progress into the hospitals and then the community settings. You have clinicals every semester. I know that they've been kind of out of touch, let's say during this pandemic, that I know that has been struggle with Martin, Dyersburg. I don't know how y'all are doing it. I would not have been able to get through that, if you want to know the honesty of it. But the clinicals aspects of it is where you learn nursing, learn what you're doing. In the classroom, they're just laying your foundation. I had some of the best instructors during my clinical time. One I would highly mention, Miss Ruby Black. She was fantastic. But they prepare you for your career once you graduate. I was very uncertain coming the time of graduation. Miss Radford probably does not remember this, but I went to her and Dr. Floyd and asked, why are they letting me graduate? They reassured me that I was going to be okay. They told me to take a deep breath. I did get through graduation. I applied for a job. I got a job. I have been fine since then.
You're definitely an asset to your career, and I know UT Martin's proud to have you and your wife also as graduates representing UT Martin. And thank you again for what you do. And you made it, and you're proof that anybody can make it, right?
Yes, I am.
They put their mind to it. That's right. Thank you today. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much.
All right. Miss Austin, can you talk about the size of your classes? About how many students?
So in the size of the classes, we can have, we usually run anywhere from 20 to sometimes we'll have, I think the largest class that I've ever had was somewhere around 46. Our clinicals, though, we trim those down quite a bit so that you really do get to build a relationship with your clinical instructor specifically. We're down to usually between 8 to 10 students per clinical, and that works out really well. So for a whole semester, we get to know each other pretty good.
Yeah, it's important. I remember every one of my instructors, and it was well, 34 years ago. So, but it's true. They teach you valuable lessons that you will take with you in your nursing career. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you and Dr. Radford. I'd now like to turn over to Miss Amy Johnson at Dyersburg State. Miss Johnson, I know y'all are proud to have a new lab. I know you've got several options for even students that are still in school for a CNA class. And can you tell us about the AAS degree and everything Dyersburg State has to offer?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'll start with the CNA courses. So Dyersburg State is offering the CNA course in 8 high schools right now. Wow. We are offering it in Lake County, Dyer County, Halls, and Ripley High School, Brighton, Covington, and Munford. And we also offer it at Trenton Peabody. So this is 2 courses that make up the CNA work, and the students at the end are eligible to sit for that certification. This is a big positive. This allows the student to determine whether or not they really want to do healthcare. We have students who will start the CNA program, and once they get into clinicals, realize that this was not for them. Or sometimes they get into it and they realize how much they love it. And so it just gives them the passion they need to be successful. And so we do offer that. So if you're a high school student and you are looking for that and you go to one of those high schools, please talk to your guidance counselor. We also offer the AAS degree in nursing, which is the Associate of Applied Science degree. This is a 2-year program once accepted. I do have several high school students every year that will graduate from high school in May, and they are accepted into our program before they graduate high school and start in August. Now, typically, in order for these students to be able to accomplish this, they have taken dual enrollment classes through their high schools. But then I have others who have not, that have a very high ACT score, and they will come straight in. And if you are one of those high school students, I would love to talk to you if that is your goal. We do have students every year that do that, that will come straight in and graduate 2 years after their high school graduation with their AAS in nursing. And so, and they are the students who want to go on and go to Martin and get their BSN, because their goal is to be a nurse practitioner or a nurse, any kind of advanced practice nurse. That's what their goal is. If you're coming in as a high school student, they have goals far outweighing, but Tennessee Promise allows them to come here 2 years tuition free. So it's a great incentive for the students here at Dyersburg State. I would like to talk about, if you're interested in applying, the application is online at the Dyersburg State website, just dscc.edu/nursing. And you can go and you will see the information packet for application. The application's due March 1st for the August classes and September 1st for the January classes at Covington.
I actually got online and looked at each of your websites. Easy application process, easy. I'm from back in the day where I had to mail it. Everything had to be mailed in, you know, and you had to go in person, but easy. UT Martin's, TCATS, and Dyersburg State. So yeah, that's a great thing. Can you tell us about your new lab? I know you're proud of it.
Yes, I'm so proud of our new lab. So DSCC received a $1 million grant for the Dyersburg location. It was a Drive to 55 increased capacity grant, and we completely redid. We actually had 2 nursing labs at the beginning. We completely redone those, and we added a 3rd additional lab. It was a $1 million renovation, and it is spectacular. High fidelity mannequins. We have a mannequin that actually gives birth. We call her our sim mom. We have a lot of nursing training mannequins that move like real. You can do ADLs with them. They're just phenomenal how far they have come since even I was in school here at Dyersburg State. And so to be able to do this renovation was great. We also just completed a $650,000 renovation on our Covington location, where we have completely redone that lab also to make it match Dyersburg. And so we are super proud of the labs that we have here at Dyersburg State.
That's great. That's great. As Clay was hitting on a little bit about at the beginning, he said he had a nursing home as part of their clinicals. And that is true. You kind of get their toes wet. And you have the nursing labs. We see Dr. Radford and Ms. Austin at UT Martin and theirs, I believe, at your labs, which is a great place where they learn that hands-on. They learn how to get that first shot. I'll never forget changing bed sheets with a patient in the bed. You felt like a magician. It was a great thing. And you thought, I can't do this. Yes, you can, especially with the great clinical instructors. So nursing labs are important when we get the students out there into the field. Thank you.
We do 2 years of, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we do 2 years of clinical, but we do spend a lot of times in the lab.
Yes.
Too, along with the clinical. We want it to be a environment that they can learn without fear of a judgment, and that they can make the mistakes there, just like Dr. Radford and Miss Austin. You know, that's the place to learn, is that campus lab. So it's really a great place.
That is the basics and the fundamentals of nursing. It is right there at the beginning before they go into further into the hospitals and the clinical settings with actual patients. Thank you so much. And can you talk to us about the size of your classes? What's the average size at Dyersburg State?
Sure. So we start with each traditional program. I have 3 different program cohorts. Each traditional program starts with 48 students. So that's 48 for Dyersburg, 48 for JNC. And we start in our LPN to RN program, which Ms. Smith will talk about the LPN program, but we have a lot of students who will become LPNs first and then come in and do our LPN to RN program. That is a 1-year program. We start with 48 in that course also. And then we have a paramedic to RN program. This is a fairly new program, and we start with 24 students in that class.
That's a good size class. That's great.
Yeah, they're good sizes. Just like Miss Austin said, our clinicals, we're about the same, 1-to-8 ratio, unless the hospital tells us less. So I agree. When you have the smaller classes, you have just a whole lot more hands-on time with the students. So Dyersburg State and UTM are very much alike in a lot of those aspects.
Great. Thank you so much. Now we're going to go to Erica, Miss Erica Smith, who is representing Tennessee College of Applied Technology, which has so many locations. I think I was unaware of that, but there are several locations and programs available from CNA to the LPNs, which is a strong interest for students because it's kind of a shorter course. It's a shorter curriculum. And I know you have some weekend night programs. It's a lot of flexibility. Can you talk about, Erica, the program you have there at TCAP?
Sure. And I'll start by saying that I've been in every one of these programs. I started out as an LPN. I went to Dyersburg State, got my RN, and then I have since went and got my BSN. So there are stepping stones that you can take, and I am very happy that I took all three routes because now I kind of know the differences in them and those kind of things too. So I represent Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Covington, Ripley, and New Bern. So we have three main campuses and we have two sub campuses. One's in Bells and one's in Union City. So we are kind of Northwest Tennessee. We are in several different locations. I'll first start with our patient care technician medical assisting program. It is a very good entryway into healthcare, especially like if you went to one of the CNA programs that Amy was talking about earlier, and maybe you're just still not sure. It does not only CNA, but it covers EKG and phlebotomy as well. Licensed med. That's kind of a in between the CNA and the LPN. For our LPN programs, they are, if you go to a day program, they're a year-long program. We have 6-day programs, and we have 2 evening and evening weekend programs. Those are 18-month programs. We start a program every trimester, so you have an opportunity to get in January at our Ripley campus. May, we do Bells in Union City, and then in September, we have our main campuses, New Bern, Covington, and Ripley, starting a program too. So you have an opportunity to get in, and like you mentioned, we have evening programs for some people have to work during the day, or some people have things to do during the day. We have evening weekend programs. This year we started with Dyersburg State. We partnered with them and did a CNA to LPN program that's going really well. They're planning to graduate in 2022, and we may continue that program in the future because that really helps. Those students are doing well. They're already in healthcare, so that helps a lot too because they kind of know the background. So we just have a lot of things going on. Our class sizes, I'll go ahead and talk about that. We start with 25 students in our programs. It is competitive. We usually have, application of 70 to 80 students sometimes. We start with 25. And that's one thing, it is very kind of one-on-one, hands-on. You get a lot of time to ask questions and kind of go through the program. And we start with 20, like I said, we start with 25 students, and that's in all of our programs. So it is a little competitive to get in, but once you get in, just like everybody else's programs, the teachers really do help you try to succeed in those programs.
Sure, and they want you to succeed. That's why
Yeah.
we want you to succeed. And I know that there's several applications, and only certain applications are accepted probably each year. It's been like that in nursing forever, and it will continue that way. Are there any prerequisites or tests before that are needed with the application process? We'll start with you first, Erica.
Sure. So for our PCT and nursing program, there is a test that you have to take to get in. We do a HESI test for our nursing or PCT. You have to have a 70% in math and reading to be able to even qualify to apply to the nursing program. So you can take that test as many times. We tell people sometimes they don't know what to expect and they come and take it, don't quite make the 70 maybe in math. But then they know what to expect the next time. So you can take that test more than once.
Great, thank you. Dr. Radford, UT Martin have any prerequisites for entry from their application?
Yes, so we require a cumulative college GPA of 2.75. So that would include any dual credit courses that high schoolers may be taking. That's the minimum to apply for our program. So of course, the higher the better. But we also look at grades in our specific prerequisite courses. So A&P 1 and 2, microbiology, and psychology and math. Those courses, we look at those grades in particular that you have to have a C or higher. You get more points on your admission application for B's and A's, obviously. And we only allow you to repeat one of your sciences one time. So if you're unsuccessful in A&P1 and you retake it again, you're good. But if you keep retaking A&P1 over and over and over again, that counts. You wouldn't be eligible for the admission. We also have a pre-nursing entrance exam. We use ATI's Test of Essential Academic Skills, which is the TEAS exam. And you have to score at the proficient level. You get 2 opportunities to score at proficient, and we take your highest score of those 2 attempts. We don't require the ACT. We do have a lot of non-traditional students that are coming back and haven't taken an ACT before. But if you have taken the ACT, starting at a 19, you would get a point on your application, but the highest scores for ACT points would start at 25 and higher.
Good, thank you. All right, Ms. Johnson, your turn. What about Dartmouth State? Any prerequisites?
So we do not necessarily have prerequisite requirements for our traditional program. All students do have to be out of all learning support classes before they can be admitted. Our students also have to take the entrance exam, TEAS exam, and we look at their math and reading score, and we average those 2 scores together and get an average, and they get points based off of that score. If a student has taken Anatomy and Physiology 1, English Comp 1, and Intro to Statistics and received a B or better, they will get 1 point each. We also require a 2.5 GPA, and we only, just like UTM, we will only look at the nursing courses required to get into the nursing, to graduate with an AAS in nursing. So for us, those courses are English Comp 1, General Psychology, Statistics, Humanities elective, a guided elective, and then Anatomy and Physiology 1, 2, and Micro. We do not look at any classes outside of those courses for the GPA requirement. And then we also give an extra point based on healthcare. So if they come in with a CNA license or a CCMT, or they have an EKG license, if they have a certificate, anything in the healthcare field, we give an extra point based on that healthcare experience and certification.
Great, thank you so much. Great. Now I'd like to talk to Miss Carol Pham. Miss Carol, who is such an advocate for nursing because she is the care counselor coordinator for the GIVE grant. Ms. Pham, can you talk to us about the GIVE grant, which is definitely helpful for nursing students that want to further their education?
Right. So what we're doing with the students that are currently in the CNA programs throughout the high schools that are involved in the GIVE grant, I'm able to have meetings with them. So currently, of course, meeting a lot virtually, but they can schedule meetings to talk about some of the things that Ms. Johnson spoke of, like what are those requirements prior to coming in. A lot of students want to know that ACT, that is, the best for them to come in with. And we have an opportunity to go through the nursing packet. So I tell them, I look at it as that they have a running start, they have a jump start on having an idea about what they expect, because I've worked with students and advising them that come straight to Dyersburg State and maybe they don't have that background. So with the GIVE grant, this has been able to provide a year in advance for students to meet and ask questions and construct questions. And then the great thing, as they have some guidance in going into the programs and what the expectations are. Currently, there's a student that actually emailed and said, hey, I'm going to try to improve that ACT score, because they don't want to go through the learning supports. So, it's helping them to make decisions as they go along, because they have answers early. And, as they even exit Dyersburg State, if they choose to start in the 2-year program, then this also provides some resume writing skills and helps to prepare them if they are going into the job force, or even if they are interested in BSN, to be able to look together and at least connect them with people as UT Martin and other schools, that they may be interested. So it's a good jump start for them, and it's a privilege to be able to work with high school students who are very curious, and they have amazing questions about how they need to get into the healthcare program, and they have a passion for it. Those that I've spoken with, they are excited about the CNA courses. They are great advocates for the CNA courses as well. And just a little plug for Dyersburg State. I'm not a nurse, but my sister has, she graduated from Dyersburg State, and she has served in the same local hospital since graduation. And, she's had an awesome experience. So she is a thread that I feed from on knowing that is such a value in our communities.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us know that also. I think everyone knows a nurse, has been a nurse, or has been experienced with a nurse. So, because nursing it's such a great career for male or female. It is, and at any age, not just the high school senior students, which is a wonderful thing. Know your career path right when you get out of school. Know that it's local. It can be completed here locally, but it is a path that really at any age, that I'm sure a lot of you educators will say that your average student may not be 18. Sometimes it's a lot that's older, not a lot older, I'm not going to say that, but it's older. But we're definitely living in challenging times, especially with healthcare. The COVID pandemic, it's touched every life on our planet, we know. But a future lies ahead for each of these students, and each of them have the ability to imagine a better life. So life will continue, and nursing will always be a secure job. I've said it before. I tell anyone I meet, I used to tell my students, you don't want to look for a job, you want a job to look for you. And that is definitely nursing. You can always find a good job and they will look for you. And all of your institutions are so well represented today by all of you. Nursing being a lifelong career and being able to find your education in these sound institutions that each of you represent today. We just thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the panel today. Thank Clay, Dr. Radford, next time you see him. I know he had to leave. But we appreciate your time. And of course, we appreciate Northwest Tennessee Workforce Board for even presenting this video to the students. And we hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you.